I'm Marc White, this is Meadowbank, and I'm the founder, owner, chairman and manager of Dorking Wanderers, and we've had 11 promotions in 19 completed seasons. The biggest moment ever in Dorking footballing history was when the old Dorking Football Club got to the first round of the FA Cup proper, and obviously we got some kind of great images of our old site, this is absolutely valuable to us beyond belief, because this is kind of what's known as West Tumble. And just out of sight is Box Hill, famous for the Olympics, the bike race. It was the most quaint sight you'll ever see. It used to be on many websites for being one of the most picturesque football grounds in the UK. And we built this place from scratch to the point where there was nothing there at all. And we had to get 300 metres of water pipes and electric. There was no changing rooms, nothing. Just a field. Yeah, just a field. We built it literally with just players and volunteers. That path there, this actual path, when we had to put that down to pass a grading on our way up through the leagues, I remember that the players, we had training behind here somewhere, behind the goal, and the players had to drive their cars all across the field and put their lights on there so we could put the concrete in late at night, because we couldn't afford the labourers to do it. So that's the kind of how much stuff we've done organically, you know, that type of thing. Yeah, so I decided to start the club really because I was a Wimbledon home and away fan, and things weren't going brilliant there. I was getting a bit old at the time, and it wasn't like it was a real great social thing going to watch Wimbledon at the time. Me and my friends said, let's just go and play football and have fun on a Saturday. There was absolutely no intention at any point of being successful, and we started it in the lowest possible level of football. I mean, it was Division 5 of a park league. It could not be lower. Well, yeah, I was always player manager. You know, someone had to, at that point, being a manager was more of a hassle because you had to collect the money every week. Yeah, we went through those leagues pretty much with the same bunch of mates, predominantly. And I guess a few people started to have a bit of an eye on what we were doing. But it's not uncommon for teams to do well for 2 or 3 seasons at that level, because if you are better than the rest, you can move forward without doing too much in terms of off the pitch. You know, I put on record all the time, you know, my businesses would be way more successful without Dorking Wanderers, but you know, this is what it's all about for me, the club, and I've been really fortunate to have people around me that are bought into what we're trying to achieve as a project, and you know, I've been the kind of the driving force, if you like. In terms of where we've played in our since we started, in 1999 we rented a council pitch. It's called Brock and Big Field. Dorking Rugby Club play there. It's purely just open plan. Think Hackney Marshes, lots of goals. That's what it's like. And we stayed there for many seasons because it was 50 quid. The biggest nightmare of it was how far we had to drag the nets from the changing rooms. It was a long way, and people used to arrive late for the game on purpose, thinking I won't get asked to take the nets. But we stayed there. We stayed there for a good 5 or 6 years, and then our success dictated that we had to get somewhere where we could develop it, albeit on a small basis. You know, we couldn't put an ounce of concrete at somebody else's site, a council pitch. So we then found what is known as West Tumble playing fields in the depths of Box Hill, beautiful location, and that's really where the heart of the club is. I have to say, I hope Meadowbank becomes the heart of the club. I'm sure it will in time, but West Tumble is our roots. We had a blank canvas, and we were lucky enough, again, a guy who won't remember, he's nothing to do with Dorking Wanderers, but he was purely part of a committee that managed this playing field at the time. This guy, we were fortunate, said, look, you know, people have tried over the years, he said, to do stuff here, he said, but it's no good to anybody, because the nearest power's that house over there, the nearest bit of water's over there, there's nothing here, but if you want to have a go and that's up to you, you can come here. So most people would have turned their back and thought it's just too much hassle, but we didn't. We that summer we built changing rooms. We designed the pitch. We put a rope around the pitch. That was it, a rope, and that was enough. Because I remember vividly that in order to get promoted, literally the rule was the changing rooms had to be nearer the pitch, and you had to have a rope. That was it. So this ticked the boxes, and then West Humble went from being good enough for that promotion. We then added in concrete paths, floodlights with promotions, and we went all the way through what is known as the county leagues there, which is the step 6 and 5 of non-league football, into the Isthmian League there, and it housed Isthmian League football, so it looked entirely different from when we first went there to when we left. But it was blood, sweat and tears that developed that place. Summers, literally closed season upon closed season of raising money, doing the work ourselves as a community. And so that's kind of where the heart of the club is really. It was a sad day when we had no option but to leave, because it was being in the depths of Box Hill. It was in an area of outstanding natural beauty which had extreme planning restrictions, and we'd already pushed them as much as we could. And we were fortunate, we were supported by the local council, by the residents down there and everybody. And we went from West Humble, and it really was an act of God, as I tell many people, because Dorking Football Club's demise happened at the perfect time for us, really. We had to move to be successful, and then we've got this amazing centre of town location where it's enabled the club to move on, and we've been here since July 18. And we've had one promotion here already, and we're now in the National Football League, which is, from where we've come from, just incredible. My advice would just be surround yourself with like-minded people. The work will be relentless. It's got to be based on a community project. I think that's where the enthusiasm of everybody, that's both the spectators, the sponsors, the players, everybody buys into kind of community. And I think actually that even if you look at it, maybe it's very much underrated, but even at the highest possible level, work in the community is probably its biggest asset. A lot of non-league football clubs forget that. Our priorities now are literally the next thing in front of us, which is a new stand that needs to be built to retain our National League status, and also improve the site tenfold in terms of viewing for kids and families with tiered viewing. And it's sustainability. That's our priority over and above progression. The progression happens probably anyway if you do things right. So I think that's just a process. And we're never far away from success normally, but we're not going to force success. So I think we really need to take stock of recent successes and make sure that off the field is entirely organised. That's the plan.